I will start by sharing some resources with you, and then we have some presentations from your peers. Tonight is going to be interesting, and students usually refer to this as the easy week since you don't have a major assignment to submit. You've worked so hard on your practical project, you've done your theory, you've worked so hard. So this is the week that you get a little break. But we still do some learning. And in this session, we are going to go over just some very basic things about research, since that's what we'll be doing in this session, right? So we are now at Unit 1, Information Systems, but this is the third part of our process, which is the research aspect. And under that section, you're going to see Research Phase 1. We're going to get to that in a moment. There are two URL links that are visible to you. The first one is the research slides that I'll be going through tonight. And we're not going through all of them, just a portion because it's an ongoing presentation. So for the next part of the cycle, we'll be going through the rest of those slides. There's also a reading assignment that you will be able to view as well. And this we will discuss next week, Tuesday, just some of the nuggets that you got from this conducting a lit review in MIS reading assignment. And finally, we'll be discussing Research Phase 1, which just breaks down what you will be discussing in your groups when you get to meet. All right, so I'm just opening this up so you can see it. When you click on it, you're going to see a link that should take you to the presentation slides. So you'll have access to this for your own perusal after the class. You can go back over the content if there was something that's not quite clear. Research. Now, a lot of people don't like to do research because it's time. They might think of it as time consuming or it takes a lot of effort. But I believe that we are hardwired to do some kind of research. If you have a neighbor that's been nosy, that person knows how to do some kind of research, or at least investigation. And they try to collect as much information as they can so that they can report it. We are hardwired to collect information, gather it by whatever means necessary, and produce it in a form of reports. Now, academically, we're going to learn how to do this for the benefit of improving systems, improving processes, as well as services. Non-academic types of research would look at tradition. What are some of the practices that we've done over the years from childhood right into adulthood? We look at authorities, religion, common sense, personal experience, and even the media. These are some of the sources that we would go to get non-academic information on things that we're interested in. There's a story that comes to mind whenever I think of tradition, and it's of a couple that I know. For years, every year they bake their turkey. The turkey was always, instead of being a whole turkey, they would cut it, 3/4 of the turkey would be baked. So the lower quadrant of that turkey was always cut off. And one year we asked, okay, why is it that this always happens? Why is it that you prepare your turkey like this? And so the lady said, well, this is how my mom did it. Isn't this how everybody does turkey? So we told her, well, no. So she went and she asked her mom, and her mother told her, well, this is how my mom did it. So they went to ask the grandmother. The grandmother said, well, I had a very small baking pan, so I had to cut my turkey to make a 3/4 of a turkey to fit in one pan. Now that was tradition, and they passed that teaching on over the years. And we've seen how we've learned things through different sources over the time, non-academic, but they've helped to inform decisions that we've made. They've helped to guide certain practices we've done, and even to shape some of our behaviors and the way we view or what we consider is right and wrong. But then there's this scientific research, and this revolves around a scientific method. We look at peer-reviewed conference or journal published work. This is research that persons have done based on other theories, other research that has already been done. And then they find supporting evidence to back up the claims that they might be alleging or trying to produce for their documents. This forms the basis for educational textbooks as well as formal education. What is research? There are two main types we'll be looking at, both basic and applied. You will actually be doing a combination of basic and applied research for your project. Now, the basic aspect has a scientific research aim. There's a goal that you're working towards proving or disproving. And the objective is to improve scientific theories for improved understanding as well as prediction of natural or other phenomena. It's usually pure or fundamental or academic in nature. The applied research, however, is methodological. It's used to solve specific practical problems for individuals or groups. Now let's look at how this applies to your project. The first 3 chapters of your 5-chapter research is going to apply to basic research. So you're looking at research aims. You're looking at literature that already exists to support the theories and the aims of your research, as well as some of the objectives that you might have to prove or disprove in your research. You are going to use that to improve the system that you're studying. So you might have been studying the information system at Full Tech or DFC or wherever else. And you're trying to find out what makes this system so good or why is it failing. Based on research, you have to find what other authors are saying that will support your research and help you to discover what are some of the things that have helped information systems succeed over the years. What are some things that cause them to fail? What are some of those things that this organization is adhering to, and how can they improve? So the research is going to help you with that, and that's the basic research. The applied research comes into chapters 4 and 5. After you've looked at your methodology, how you're going to collect your data, and you're now analyzing your data and results, you can form conclusions. And these conclusions are going to answer the question that you initially had on how good or how bad the system might be. We also have the constructivist and the positivist view. You might have heard about qualitative and quantitative research. For this course, our research is going to be quantitative in nature. What does that mean? You will be using questionnaires or surveys, and you'll be collecting that data in quantifiable form. Now, this data is going to be used to support some of the claims that you're saying in your document. And we want quantifiable data, things that we can put numbers to, things that we can represent in graphs. Now, the qualitative would make it a little difficult for us to make a definite conclusion in certain regards. You might have also heard about the mixed method. And like I mentioned, the quantitative research is what you'll be doing. So in the surveys that we will be providing for you, you'll have close-ended questions. These are predetermined. It produces numeric data. Some of the practices that you are going to follow, you're testing theories. What are people saying? How can we test it? And what are some of the variables that we need to consider? Are we using standards that are both reliable and valid? Are we measuring our data numerically? Are we using unbiased approaches? Are we using statistical procedures? So as you go through, these are some of the things that you will come back to the slides just to check whether or not you're adhering to these. So how to research? Well, first of all, we need to look at what is the problem that we're trying to address. We have 2 examples here, and these examples apply to the first 3 chapters, and then the second goes to the second 2 chapters. The question is, does transformational leadership influence organizational innovation, agility, and performance in times of the pandemic? So notice we're looking at transformational leadership, but we're looking at its influence on the organizational innovation, agility, and performance And the scope is defined. We're saying in the times of pandemic. So although you have your research goals, you must narrow your scope. Otherwise, the research is going to be something that you can't complete within the duration of this course. We also look at the second part. So it's still looking at the transformational leadership, but it says, does the leadership style being utilized by a specific type of organization influence these same three things that we just mentioned: innovation, agility, as well as performance? So we're going to pause after this slide to listen to some presentations from your peers. In your assignment, you will be identifying persons within the organization that you've selected, and you can use the very same organization that you started your website on. In that organization, you're just asking for permission to interview persons after the surveys have been provided for you. They'll fill out the survey, and the survey is going to help you to form the data analysis process. So you're going to use the data to create your charts and see how many persons are in favor of the system, how many persons are saying the system is meeting the objectives of the organization, its mission, vision, etc. Or if the data is showing that the system is failing and not meeting the objectives of the organization. So that's one of the things that we're going to be using this survey for. You can analyze that data, and from it, you can form some decisions that will be informed. Okay, so like I said, we're going to pause here, and the next time we continue, we'll be looking at the body of knowledge, which is what will be the result of this project. When you have written your complete paper, it becomes a part of the body of knowledge. It's going to be peer reviewed. You're going to be presenting it, and when it's been assessed, published, etc., then it can be a part of this body of knowledge. And that's one of the goals of this course. We would like you to publish a paper that has been peer reviewed, you've gone through the proper research process, and you're able to use it to improve systems that are already in existence. Any questions so far?
Miss, is this up on Moodle? No.
Yes, it is. Let me just go back so you could see where exactly you can find it. Okay, so on Moodle, we have Unit 1, but Unit 1 has 3 sections, right? The first section is week 1, theory. The second section of Unit 1 is practical. That's what you guys just completed. And then the third section is what we're doing now, the research. You'll find it right here at MIS Research Slides. And when you click on it, it's going to show you a link. The link is what you'll need to click on to access the PowerPoint. And all of you will have access to this, so you can go back over it in your free time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're shifting gears tonight. We'll be having our first interactive session. Can you run your company with your iPhone? All right, so Tadisha, you can go ahead and I'll just change the slides for you.
Okay, Miss. Good night, Miss. Good night, everyone. My name is Tadisha Arzu, and I will be presenting on the case study entitled, Can You Run the Company with Your iPhone? Okay, so this is a small summary of the case study. This case study highlights how using an iPad, iPhone, or Android devices has changed the business industry. It explains how using mobile devices has become an efficient and effective tool used in operating a business. It illustrates these two changes in 2 transport companies in Europe, namely Network Rail and British Airlines. This case study identifies issues faced by the companies and showcases how mobile devices and applications play a large role in mending the problems in day-to-day operations and improving customer service. What kinds of applications are described here? What business function do they support? How do they improve operational efficiency and decision making? Network Rails uses a group of custom applications for its iPhone and iPad devices to streamline maintenance operations, quickly capture incident data, and immediately share critical information. These include post-call apps. This one helps employees to report hazards as they find it, so the problems can be addressed quickly. The My Work app gives maintenance team all the information they need to start and complete repairs. Sentinel app allows field managers to electronically scan ID cards to verify that workers are qualified to perform the task at hand. This is a continuation of that slide first. Okay, so the British Airways use the iPod to improve customer service and operational efficiency. Flight React app is used to scan boarding passes, review customers' bookings, look up alternate flight options, rebook, and reticket passengers, all within a span of 4 minutes. iBanner allows agents to identify passengers transferring onto a specific flight. iTranslate enables staff to communicate easily with travelers speaking any language. iBeacon notifies customers of Wi-Fi access, gate locations, and flight updates. iLoad, direct up, turnaround managers are able to monitor the aircraft loading process and share the data with pilots and the back office in real time. Shift allows workers to share information, make schedule decisions, and report labor violations. Identify the problems that the business in this case study solved by using digital devices. Okay, so there were many different problems that were solved, but the main ones were like solving disruption in long lines for customers. This is for British Airways. Overcoming language barriers. So like if someone is coming from a country that doesn't speak English, then that would help them to get through the process of getting checked in and checked out of the airport very quickly. It's quicker, effective communication among employees. So you don't have to be running from one place to another. You can just send a call or a text or video call another employee, so everyone is always on the same page. Network Rail improves railway performance and safety. Quick, efficient incident reporting, effective and efficient dissemination of information needed to complete tasks, and reducing scheduling conflict. What kinds of businesses are most likely to benefit from equipping their employees with mobile digital devices such as iPhones and iPods? Okay, so this one would be any service-based business with multiple employees or multiple processes can benefit from equipping their employees with mobile devices. These include transportation companies like the railway and the airports, call centers, restaurants, hotels, resorts, and any other company that needs to be in constant communication with their employees and their customers. One company deploying iPhones has stated, the iPhone is not a game changer, it's an industry changer. It changes the way you can interact with your customers and the way your suppliers. Discuss the implications of the statement. Okay, so for this one, a couple years ago, you would have to go to a payphone in order to make a call, or you would have to go to a computer in order to make an email. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to leave somewhere to physically go somewhere else in order to get things done. You don't have to leave your location of work to go to your supplier's location in order to find out the prices of items, how much they have, and things like that. So that you can use your phones, you can use your phone. Everything is at the touch. Everything is in your hands. You can find the goods and services, you can find payment methods, you can find who has the better products, you can find the difference in prices, and you can decide which price works better. You don't have to physically go anywhere and leave the comfort of maybe your office or your home if you're a work from home employee. And that's why they call it an industry changer, because it literally changes the way that things have begun to work. What is the Belizean context? Many Belizean businesses can benefit tremendously from using iPad, iTouch, or Android devices to improve their services. Delivery services has been on the rise. These devices are crucial for efficient and reliable services. One such delivery service is Belize on the Way. Belize on the Way specializes in delivering takeouts to customers. So the three applications they use are Belize on the Way app. Is used by customers to place orders on menus. It allows customers to track their orders. They have Token app, allows dispatchers to assign orders to drivers and track them. And WhatsApp, it allows the employees to communicate with each other and to also communicate with the customers.
Thank you, Ms. Arzu. All right, so before I start asking you questions, let me hear from the class. What was one takeaway that you got from Ms. Arzu's presentation?
That you can do a lot of business right from your phone in terms of sending emails and other stuff like that.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Is there anything that stood out to you from her presentation? You guys are still thinking. So, Tidisha, what about you? When you read this case study, what struck you the most? What was that thing that got your attention when you read this case study?
The thing that caught my attention the most, I would say, is just the difference in how things work now and the difference in how things used to work back then. Because like I said, you in order to get a lot of things done, you will have to leave your home to go to somewhere else. Whereas now you just have your phone and everything is at the touch of your hand. It's basically in your hands. You don't have to leave the comfort of where you are to do anything or to do much of anything. And like with the Runman apps, like I mentioned also, you literally don't have to leave where you are to get anything done. It's becoming so like everything is becoming so not dependent on technology, but everything is becoming so easy. You don't have to put in a lot of work to get things done.
Yes, and those are some of the things we want to be able to see when we're using technology, when we're looking at the course. How is technology helping managers to manage better, to be more efficient, to respond to clients on time, to be present and respond in real time? And even for travel agents, we see that now you don't have to have a lot to start a travel agency. You need to know how to book a flight. Of course, you need to know how to make reservations. And of course, your management and people skills will come into play because you need customers to make your business bloom. However, if you have all of those things, you can run a travel agency from the comfort of your living room or wherever it is that you want to work from. And you're able to book flights for clients because maybe it's not their strength. So they'll come to you and they say, Tidisha, I want you to make this reservation for me for 1 week at this place, find the nearest hotels, this is my budget, etc. So there's so many opportunities for us now, whether you're a startup or an established enterprise, you can use your technology whether it's your smartphone or if you have other devices that you use for your business, those are helping persons to be more efficient and effective as they run their business. A couple of years ago, we would be telling students, please turn off your cell phones. Now we're asking you, please bring your cell phone so that you can join the class, or have or there are persons who have the old school way of thinking and they tell you, you have to be in a physical cubicle so that they can verify whether or not you're working. Now you can work wherever and travel and still get the job done. So technology is improving our lives, and it's helping us to change many things that we thought in the past we're going to be hampered by it. Very good presentation, Tidisha, and we're going to go on to our next presenter.
Okay, good night, everyone. So my case study topic was UPS competes globally with information technology. Mr. Gutjensen, next slide. Okay, so my questions were, what are the inputs, processing, and outputs of UPS package tracking system? What technologies are used by UPS? How are these technologies related to UPS business strategy? What strategic business objectives do UPS information system address? What would happen if UPS information system were not available? And lastly, how can I relate this case study to beliefs? Next one. Okay, so to start off, what are the inputs, processing, and outputs of UPS package tracking system? So the inputs for the UPS may include package information, customer signature, pickups, delivery, time card data, weather conditions, traffic information, and current stop locations for best route considerations, van speed accounting, and customer dispatch documentation. When it comes to processing, processing occurs when the data is transmitted to a central computer and stored for retrieval. The data is also reorganized so that it can be tracked by customer account, date, driver, and other criteria. The outputs would include pickup and delivery timing, the package receiver, and the location while traveling, a driver's route, shipping details, rate calculation, and a variety of reports such as all packages for a particular account or a particular driver are all included in the outputs as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so what technologies are used by UPS? And how are these technologies related to UPS business strategies? The technologies used by UPS are DIAD, which is also known as Deliver Information Acquisition Device, barcode scanner, wireless communication, ERP, web service, and GPS tracking device, wired and wireless communication networks, and storage technology for the package delivery data also. UPS also uses telecommunication technologies such as truck speed sensors and GPS information to transmit data over to networks and wirelessly transmit data about shipping information from a barcode reader to a central computer. The company uses software to track packages, calculate fee, and maintain customer accounts and manage logistics, drivers' best route. Customers use the World Wide Web to access the UPS website and search for information about their packages. So these technologies are related to, sorry, Miss, please go back. Miss, please go back. One more slide, Miss, go back, one more slide. Okay. Mr. Gamble, one more. Go ahead, one more. Sorry. Miss, please go to the next slide. Sorry. Okay. Okay. You missed. Mr. Still go ahead. One more.
All right, let me see. The third one. This one here.
The fourth, Miss Fourth. Sorry, the fourth. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, these technologies are related to the UPS business strategy as they improve efficiency and make partial services cheaper. UPS also uses Delivery Information Acquisition Device, the IAD, which can be accessed over a wireless network. Drivers can get more detailed information such as the geographic location of the entire fleet from handheld PCs that automatically capture customer signatures. This technology also supports the strategy of increasing flexibility in the business. This technology help the company integrate tracking, scoring, address validation, and other things that can be easily done in real time. Next slide, please. What strategic business objectives do UPS information system address? So the strategic business objectives UPS information system address are operational excellence, close relationship between customers and suppliers, and improved decision making. Operational excellence is the use of cutting-edge information technology to deliver the best and the most effective service to the clients while successfully meeting the objectives of the business. Close relationship between customers and suppliers. Customers can download and print their own labels using specialized software that UPS provides or by visiting the UPS website. The route, delivery costs, and other details pertaining to the client's packages are also available in real time. Improved decision making. With the use of special software, managers have a better chance of making decisions that have a positive impact on their business process. For example, managers can design the most efficient delivery route for each driver while taking traffic, weather, and the location of each stop into account. Additionally, UPS significantly reduced its fuel expenditures by deciding to reduce the number of daily miles traveled by each driver. Next slide, please. What would happen if UPS information system were not available? The UPS company wouldn't be as effective as it is now if its information system were accessible. These technologies are valuable from the customer's point of view since they make it easier for customers to fulfill their jobs. This is due to the fact that we are aware that the information system solution is to maintain a high quality of services while reducing costs and pricing to remain competitive with other providers. If these systems were available, UPS wouldn't be available to compete with the other package delivery companies and wouldn't grow to be as big as it is now. Next slide, please. Okay, so when it comes to relating the case study to our belief content, I chose to relate it to Belize Package and Mail Services, BPMS, because BPMS is a great delivery company in Belize as well. And also, like, it does have smaller quantities because of our population, but the BPMS also was formed to provide fast and reliable delivery of package, letters, household items, and just about anything that fits into their cargo vehicles. They deliver twice a day from Monday to Friday. Like any other delivery company, their reputation is built on customers' confidence in their goods services, much like UPS. BPMS saves every customer's time and money while giving you the peace of mind that your parcels and mail are being delivered by the best in the business. BPMS is also monitors and tracks its delivery vehicles throughout the journey to their destination. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Burns. Okay, so before I ask the class, Ms. Burns, how did you benefit from doing this case study?
Okay, so Miss, to be honest, I learned more about UPS and what all they do. And like when I made a try relate it to some beliefs, like they really they're up with their game. And Belize, I mean, Belize have some good delivery businesses, but when you look for UPS and to Belize, you're like, man, you wish Belize would do these things. But at the end of the day, miss, I really learned a lot from this case study, miss, about the software as well, miss.
Okay. And you mentioned as well in your presentation how you think BPMS could benefit from a system like this. Of course, BPMS is much smaller. UPS took years to build, and they have the funding to invest, whereas BPMS might not have the same amount of funding that they would have had if you compare them. Very good presentation. So class, what are some of the takeaways that you got from her presentation? The next thing you're going to also prepare for is reaching out to the organization and asking for permission to interview their staff until that survey is made available to you. So these are some things that you're going to go ahead and do. Like I said, this aspect is not yet graded. The grade comes at the end of the term, the end of the semester, when you submit the final report. So this is what students call the easy week. Are there any questions?
So, Miss, this section will be due before the rest, or we just want to get this information and then keep it to be submitted with the final project?
All right, so this is really what you're going to prepare to, this is going to help you form your first chapter. The first chapter is going to have your topic, your title. It's going to have the research aims and objectives. But right now, what you're doing is just getting access to information, getting access to resources. You're not submitting that first draft as yet. When your groups meet, you're going to brainstorm all of these things. What is my thesis statement? What are the objectives, etc.? And you'll write that out in your first draft so that this would be your first chapter of your research. There are 5 chapters in the research. The first is the introduction. Let me go back to that in the course outline. Let's see. Okay, here's your research, right? The first phase, this instruction says select an organization and information system to evaluate. Most of you have already decided on a place that you'd like to study because of the website that you just did. But that introduction will have in it the importance of the topic you chose, the originality of the research, what is known about the topic or what is unknown, the objectives of the research, and the goal of the research. Now, we're not expecting you to have a full paper right now. That's what I'm saying. Right now, you're brainstorming this so that later on in the course, you will be able to actually write this up as a proper first chapter. Later on, you're going to start finding articles that relate to the topic you're interested in. For example, if your information system is a learning management system, you will need to find papers about learning management systems and what makes them successful or not. And you just, after identifying those papers among your group, you can decide how many summaries each person is going to write, annotated bibliographies. And then after you've found persons who can support your work, you start working on your annotated bibliographies to prepare for your literature review. Okay, so similarly, everything at the beginning is just brainstorming, deciding how you're going to break this up and who is going to do what. The writing is going to come later on as you prepare to submit your final document. Okay, so right now, all you're doing is trying to find out what your topic is going to be. What are the aims of your research? What do you know about it? What don't you know? This is discussion among you and your group. And what's the goal that you'd like to achieve in this research? I'm not expecting a paper at this point, but all I'm asking you guys in your group to do is to start brainstorming so that you can work on your paper later in the semester. All right, that research paper is going to be due the last week of classes, which should be around November, the week of November 28th, 29th, thereabout, just before exam week for most of you. And throughout the process, you will be getting guidance and feedback. So on Tuesday, when we meet, what I would be asking you guys is just a little summary of what you discussed in your group to inform your research. Any other questions?
Yes, Miss. I have a question. Miss, I'm trying to open my case study and it's not allowing me. It's telling me I need access.
It's telling you need what?
Access. I need access. Someone needs to grant me access.
Your case study?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the case study list. Just a minute. Remind me of the name, please.
Fisher Haben.
Okay, here you are. And when you click on this, it tells you that, oh, okay, I see what happened. All right, I need to fix that for you. I seem to have added Miss Arzu's presentation link there instead of the one that you're supposed to do. So I'm just gonna fix that so that you have access to it. But all the others, what should happen is this: when you click on the link, it's just going to take you to the relevant case study. And it's going to download it on your computer. So once it downloads, then you should be able to access that. All right, let me just fix that.
Excuse me, Miss.
Yes, go ahead.
Miss, with this same link,
Mhm.
after, when I click the link, it takes me to another page, but then it does that I see there, it shows that it downloaded, but it does not do that with mine. I'm not able to view anything on the slides or so.
For the case study?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need to check yours as well. Just let me add Miss Habet's link first, and then I'll come and check yours. All right, yours was net neutrality. So let me fix this. All right, you can try, Miss Habet, you can try again. All right, can you tell me your name, the person I was speaking a while ago?
Tiana Coleman.
Kiana. Okay.
Yes.
So you said when you clicked on it, did it download?
No, ma'am.
It didn't download. Yeah, when I click on it, it downloads here, but I'm not sure why it's not downloading for you. I might just have to send yours as an email to make sure you get it. So let me see if I can do that.
Miss, mine is still giving me, how can you run a computer, a company with your iPhone?
You still having, okay, can you refresh your page? Let's see.
Still, Miss?
Still?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna check it after class, and then I will send you an email when I see a change. All right, so that's Keisha. And what was the name of the next person again? Sorry about that.
Tiana Coleman.
Kiana Coleman. Okay. All right, so I will get back to you guys. If you don't hear back from me this evening, then tomorrow. All right, so I'm gonna just make sure yours are okay. But the other links, I know I've tested them, and what they do, they just download the case study for you. But if you're not able to get it there, let me just show you where you can find it on Moodle. It's just going to require you to do a little bit of searching. That's what I was trying to get rid of. Easier for you. Just a second. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. We have all the case studies at the bottom of the page in 3 folders. So there's the video studies, there's the video studies all, and there's case studies. All 3 of these are case studies. Some are videos, some are just PDF files. Now, when you're searching for yours, if you're not able to get it here for any reason, you can look at the name of it. So let's go to Ms. Habet's example. Hers says MIS 16, Chapter 4, Case 1, Net Neutrality, right? That's a mouthful. So we go, and I know hers is not one of the PDF files. I think hers was a video study, but I'm just going to show you. So we check Chapter 1, 2, 3. It should be under 4. It's not here. So we check the next folder, right? There is nothing about net neutrality here under Chapter 4. So we're going to go over to one of the other folders. Let's check video studies old. So it says these are all Chapter 15, or MIS 15, sorry, Chapter 4, Case 1, Net Neutrality. So here it is under video studies. But remember, hers was MIS 16, so it's still not quite what we're looking for. So we go back one more. There's one more folder there. So this would have been what you had to do if you didn't have the URL, the link, but I didn't want you to have to go through that process of searching and searching and searching. So here it is, MIS 16, Chapter 4, Case 1, Net Neutrality. So this is where you can come to Ms. Habet just in case that link still doesn't work for you. And when you click here, it's going to download and you'll be able to access yours. All right, so for persons who are having that issue right now, that is the other option that you can go through to access your specific case study. Also, the dates for your presentation would show here in the column, and you just need to pay attention to the date. I've also added another column where you can share the link for your presentation. This will help you when you're studying for a test. You'll have 2 tests for the semester, and the case studies are there for your class to go back to the study, see what you did, and learn from it. You did quite a bit of research. Some of you use coins, use the terminologies from the text. And so as we see those coming out, you should be able to apply them to what you're doing. Any other questions? No?
Miss, one question.
Yes.
Miss, so this research, well, the introduction that you were showing us, right? That we're supposed to work on, that coupled with the practical projects, are those both the same thing? Like, are they interconnected?
Okay, so yes and no. Let me explain why I said yes and no. For the first assignment, they're related because the organization that you use for the practical project is the same organization you'll use for the research project. But what makes them different, and why I said no as well, is because the research project is going to be your exam grade. That's a document that has 5 chapters that you're going to submit at the end of the course. Throughout the weeks, you only look at the research topic every 3rd week. However, at the last week, of the class, which would be the week of the 28th. I don't remember what date would be for you guys. That's when you would submit that document, which has 5 chapters. The practical projects, however, though, those are submitted every in the cycle that we have every second week. So right now we're in the 3rd week, so you won't have another one to submit until 2 weeks from now. And there are 5 of those that you'll be submitting. Those practical projects are not related to the research project that you'll be doing, with the exception of the first one that you did. So this research project is different from the practical projects that you'll be doing from now on. The only relationship they had so far is that this first practical project, you had to select an organization, and this organization that you selected, you can use it to study the information system that you'll be writing about in your research paper. So 2 different things. All right, I hope that clears that up, but it's a good question and I'm glad you asked it.
Okay,
I'm gonna
thank you.
quickly show you the rubric as well, just because I know some persons weren't here the first week, just in case anyone missed it, right? Not the rubric, the course breakdown, sorry. In the course outline, we have the course breakdown just to show you the area that you get assessed on. Okay. You will have case studies, 2 individual assignments, forums. Every unit will have 1 forum. And so far you've done 2 forums, but the first one is an ungraded forum, and all the rest, the others, are going to be graded. That accounts for 10% of your overall grade. The case study is another individual assignment. So for those who did case studies already, you don't have to ever do another case study again. The presentation is a one-time presentation, and that is, again, an individual grade. Those are the 3rd individual assessment that you would do would be the tests. You'll have a total of 2 tests for the semester. The first test you'll have is around mid-semester. So that should be near unit 3 thereabout. Your individual grade percentage would be 40%. The rest of the grade is group activities. So 1 group grade would be the practical projects, and the other group grade would be the research. So this is why it would get a little confusing, because both of these assignments are done in groups. The research is 1 grade of 30%, and the practical project accounts for another 30% of that 60% grade that you could get. All right. You will have 5 practical projects, but only 1 research, and the research is ongoing. Right now you're brainstorming and you're planning so that you can prepare to write. You're not writing as yet, you're planning. And after you've gotten all your plans put together, your ideas put together, then you'll have some direction in which to go so that you can start that research and start working on the paper. But just in case you're not clear, you can always come back to this course outline and you'll be able to see the breakdown of everything we'll be doing for the course. This remains unchanged. Okay? Any other questions?
No questions, miss. Just seems like a lot.
It does, doesn't it? But it's something, what I said earlier, because we know that you guys are online, we have changed the way we do the research. Normally, students would have to find an organization, create their own questionnaires. But instead, we're giving you the questionnaires, and all you have to do is send it out and analyze the data. If you're using Excel, that makes it much easier for you to represent the data graphically. And then you can just use the data to say whether or not the information system being used is effective or not based on the Loan and McLean model. So it makes your research a lot easier, so to speak. It's still a lot of work, but because you're in groups and you can divide and conquer, you will be able to get it done. And this is why during the project and research weeks, we try to give you at least one session free. And when we say free, that's a group work time. So you don't meet with me personally, but you meet with your group and you'd go over your plan of action so that you can conquer and do well in this course. All right, and students have been able to accomplish it. It's just planning. Right now, you're meeting with your groups to plan what is it that I would like to learn about this information system. And as soon as the course coordinator sends the surveys, you can send those to the organization to interview. If the organization doesn't give you the green light, then you can always revert to using UB, sending the questionnaires to UB staff or students. If you're interested in finding out how are students using the Moodle platform, for example, or how are they benefiting from it? Or if you decide to find out how are staff benefiting from that, then that's another option. That's if and only if the organization that you initially selected doesn't give you the go ahead to do the research. All right. Any other questions? All right, so with that said, you guys will have this Thursday to meet and discuss. This is not a submitted weekly assignment. And the next time we meet will be Tuesday of next week, where we will start Unit 2. All right, so I'll see you then.
Good night, Miss.
Good night.
Good night, Miss.
Good night, Miss.